Do another video on the channel. Just thought I would give my quick reaction to Novak Djokovic winning his 19th Grand Slam title in what was a thrilling final, against Stefanos Tsitsipas. And I'm going to start off by talking about Tsitsipas, who I thought gave himself such a brilliant hope for the future with his performance yesterday. A lot of people talked in the pre-match about Tsitsipas getting nervous with it being his first ever Grand Slam final. It wasn't something that I thought he would really struggle with. I think Tsitsipas is a confidence player. He likes to be involved with big crowds on big occasions. He's always, turned up in the semi-final that he was in last year against Djokovic. He fought back from 2 sets down. He's won ATP titles. He's beaten Djokovic in the past, so it's not as if he'd go out in court and be, overawed by the player in front of him. And that would prove to be the case. I thought for the opening 2 sets, Tsitsipas was fantastic, particularly in the big points, which is what separates these sorts of matches against two top players. But for the two opening sets, he barely missed the ball. He returned so well. I thought he was very patient in his attacks. I think we've seen Tsitsipas in recent Grand Slams and recent tournaments that he just tends to overhit at times, tries to too many winners, flashy winners, backhand winners. But yesterday he was very patient. He rallied with Djokovic at the early stages. He looked to extend the rallies. His court coverage was absolutely exceptional. I think it's something that's so underrated for a big guy like Tsitsipas is. Physically, he does get around the court so well. Great anticipation. His hands around the net were fantastic, and I thought it was a perfect performance from Tsitsipas in those opening couple of sets. But unfortunately for him, Djokovic is still there. A brilliant 5-set player, and I think you could see he sat down at the end of that second set and he looked fully zoned in. He was there for a long battle, and he still had the confidence in himself to turn it round. I personally still thought Djokovic would win from 2 sets down. I just know that he's a mental giant, and I always felt he was one momentum swing, one break of serve away from the start of the comeback. Once Djokovic was going to start playing his best tennis, it was always difficult for Tsitsipas to turn that around again. And I did feel like at some point Tsitsipas was going to drop off, and that did happen. When Djokovic capitalised, as I say, and got the momentum of the match, I always felt like it was going to be difficult for Tsitsipas to turn the momentum round again against a 19-time Grand Slam champion who's going to go down as one of the greatest tennis players to ever live. Djokovic's level from the third set was just insane at times. It proved why he's a 19-time Grand Slam champion, why he'll go down as one of the greatest ever tennis players. And just talking about his game, it wasn't anything specific. I don't think that Djokovic done. He maybe started the left side of Tsitsipas if he was struggling with the hip. I think he did, particularly in the 5th set, struggle with the hip. His movement did seem to be a little bit restricted, but I think there was the fact that Djokovic just upped his intensity, started making more balls, painting the lines, and just produced his best tennis. It wasn't really a massive switch, as I say, in tactics. It was just he started playing his best tennis, and when Djokovic plays his best tennis, nobody can live with him at times. And I think it was Andy Roddick that said the thing about Djokovic, he's got no chinks in his armoury. It's just the variety with Djokovic. The forehand cross court, he barely missed all day. I think he missed one in the 5th set. The double-handed backhand was as solid as ever. Started to be more and more aggressive with it and brave with it throughout the match, which I did think turned it round. The execution, the drop shot is something that I think's worked brilliant for Djokovic all tournament. Didn't have as much success with it against Rafa Nadal, but I did still like the switch up in the variety to shorten some points and keep players guessing. But I think the execution, the drop shot yesterday was nigh on perfect, and it was only for the fantastic court coverage and hands around the net from Tsitsipas that meant he didn't get as much success as he would have got against another player, or probably deserved. And the serving of Djokovic was brilliant from set 3 onwards. He started to read the Tsitsipas serve and pile the pressure on him every service game, as he did against Nadal the other day. And he's just a brilliant problem solver. Djokovic is a player that over the years has often gone behind and started slow, but when he works the player out, when he warms into the match and gets the momentum, gets into a rhythm, is incredibly difficult to stop. And Tsitsipas, I think, found that difficult yesterday. From the 3rd set, it was a case of Djokovic went 3-0 up straight away in the 4th and was cruising. It was almost destined to be a decider within about 10 or 15 minutes. And I did wonder whether we had another twist. Tsitsipas didn't really get into the third or fourth sets, and I did wonder, has he saved something in the reserve tank to have a big go at this fifth set? And he did cling on at the start of the fifth. He got a couple of huge service holds, and I thought, is Djokovic's chance gone? I think he missed a couple of break points. But the pressure of Djokovic and the quality was just too much. He didn't let down in the fifth and ended up taking it 6-4. But so Djokovic becomes the first player ever to win all 4 Grand Slams more than once, which I'm sure has been a huge target on his mind for the last few years. It probably puts him now at the top of the GOAT debate. I don't think anyone can really argue that. To win all 4 Grand Slams more than once is an incredible achievement in his career. And I was talking on Twitter about this. I think this may be Djokovic's best ever Grand Slam win, and I say that because you have to factor in he was 2 sets down to Musetti in the 4th round, and obviously that's a match everyone expected to come through. And Djokovic to come through, but when he is 2 sets down, he's obviously in a hole at that point. But he turned that one around. He's then done the impossible task by beating Rafael Nadal at the French Open, which nobody's been able to seemingly do for years and years. Nobody's even been able to take a set off Rafa. I don't think since Dominic Thiem in that final back in 2018, I think it was, or 19. So for Djokovic to beat Rafa in a semi-final was a brilliant achievement on its own. To then back that up by coming back from 2 sets down against the final Tsitsipas, who was the best player in the tournament, other than Djokovic, is again just highlights why it was such a brilliant tournament win. And you can't forget that he's done this at 34 years old. So yeah, it's been a brilliant tournament for Djokovic to finally beat Nadal at the French Open, and then to beat one of the next gen stars from 2 sets down. It really doesn't get much bigger or better than that. So yeah, I think Djokovic deserves huge credit, and it will definitely go down as one of his biggest wins at a Grand Slam. For Stefanos Tsitsipas, what's next? Well, I did actually learn this morning that his grandmother passed away, and he found out 5 minutes before he stepped out on court. So, huge credit to Tsitsipas. I mean, to find out something like that and then go out on court and produce a performance like that in your first ever Grand Slam is a testament to himself, and I'm sure he's done his family proud and himself proud. Obviously, gutted that he lost from 2 sets up, but I think when he looks back and reflects on the match and reflects how well he played and how well he handled the nerves, if there is any there. I'm sure every player gets nerves before every single Grand Slam, but to do it in your first against number 1 in the world and produce that level of performance at that age, I think you can only come out of the match with positives. And Tsitsipas is going to be a worldwide superstar and win many, many Grand Slams. I've got no doubt about that. Djokovic is 34 now, Nadal 36, Federer 39. They're not going to be around forever. Djokovic has probably got another 3 or 4 or 5 years left. Nadal maybe similar. Tsitsipas is then going to be 26 to 27, and obviously he's going to have the likes of Shapovalov and Zverev and Medvedev and Thiem to contend with. But there's no doubt Tsitsipas has got the talent and mentality to win a Grand Slam. I've got no doubt about that. So he's got a huge future. He's hugely entertaining to watch. He's brilliant on and off court. And the future is bright for Stefanos Tsitsipas, and he'll go on to win many titles and light up the court all around the world. I've got no doubt. But yesterday belonged to Djokovic, and he rolls on. He's becoming a massively dominant figure in the sport. You think he's won 7 of the last 12 Grand Slams now, and I actually think Djokovic may go on to win Wimbledon and US Open this year and finish with the most Grand Slams, which would just be a crazy thought. When you go back to January and when you go back to his injury at the Australian Open, if you'd said he'd won that tournament and won the French, I'd have been pretty shocked. But he goes to Wimbledon now as a huge favourite, defending champion, and then the US Open. If you can manage his schedule and manage these long demanding tournaments that he's having to go through, then I do think he's favourite going into both events. But yeah, for Wimbledon I will be doing a lot more videos. As I said at the start of this week, that I have just started a new job in tennis, so it was pretty hectic at the start to learn everything and start writing. I am fully trained up now, so I actually know what I'm doing. So yeah, for Wimbledon I'll have a lot more time to do a lot more of these videos, so I'm looking forward to that tournament as well. If you have watched any of the interviews, any of these videos, this week, or read any of my articles that I've been posting on Twitter, then thank you. It is much appreciated. There will be lots more to come for Wimbledon and the US and Olympics. We've got a fantastic year to come in tennis. So thank you for watching. please leave a like and subscribe. It is much appreciated, and I will see you on the next video.